Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's Isabelle, the belle half of peybelle, and it's just my voice again today. We are going to be doing another one of my look back at the month videos. We're going to be doing essentially like a recap video. I hope to do one for every month this year. So we're gonna start with January. I want to look at all of the K-pop comebacks, debuts, singles, minis, EPs, albums, whatever you want to call them, for a given month. Talk about what my favorites are. I have a bunch of categories that I'm going to try to limit to one song or one artist per category. That may not always be possible, and things might change in future months depending on how many comebacks we have or a million other factors, but for now I think I have a pretty solid lineup. We started off 2021 really strong, and I want to give credit where credit is due. Not just that, but I also want to talk about what my favorites are, and hopefully I can give you guys some recommendations as well. Let me know if there's an artist that I missed. There are definitely artists that I listened to whose albums or songs didn't make my top favorites, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy them, it just means that they weren't my creme de la creme for the month. You can definitely check out my Spotify playlist of K-pop B-sides. I'll be adding to that for 2021 as well. So right now I have all of the January ones in there, and because this video is going out a little bit later than I wanted, we will start to see the February ones as well. So my first video of the following month is always going to be my month in review from now on. So I hope you guys look forward to that. Please let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see. And with that said, we are going to get into my first category, which is my girl group category. When I first was getting into K-pop, girl groups were my gateway. Twice was my first girl group ever, as a lot of you probably know, and they will always have a special place in my heart. So we're going to get started with my favorite girl group comeback for this month, which was Duke with Odd Eye. Now, Duke and I, for obvious reasons, will be referring to them as this alternate name, as a lot of fans do. If you'd like to know more about that, there are plenty of people who have discussed it, but I'm happy to talk about it in the comments as well. If you're not sure, you can always send me a DM on Twitter or Instagram as well if you'd like a little more info. But Odd Eye follows in the footsteps of some of my favorite Duke songs. Until Odd Eye, I would say probably my top favorite titles from them were Piri and probably Boca. Though of course I love some of their older songs as well. I really like their rock tinged stuff more than I prefer their EDM, but I love how versatile their B-sides are, and how versatile they are as a group as well. And I think Duke really laid it out with Odd Eye. It looks amazing. It's a beautiful music video, but more than that, it is my favorite comeback from a girl group for this month, just because it is really them in full form. I've been getting into them more and more recently, though I've been aware of them for quite some time. I saw them in LA at KCON in 2018, and I've been pretty much following them ever since, on a more casual scale, but a bunch of us have gotten into them a little bit more recently, so I'm really excited to continue to support them and hopefully watch them undergo a rebranding in the future, so they can continue to make waves for all the right reasons in the future. My next category is my favorite girl group single of the month, and for this one, it's definitely gotta go to IZ*ONE. I am not a card-carrying IZ*ONE. I love IZ*ONE. I think their songs are incredible. If you've seen some of my other videos, you know how much I talk about their B-sides being some of the strongest B-sides in K-pop, but I really love all the music that they put out. I don't think they've released a song that I haven't loved completely, which is virtually impossible to say about any other K-pop group. I think even my favorites have ones that are kind of bottom of the barrel for me sometimes. But Dance, I don't know if that's what we're calling it, is a really great release. Definitely is in the spirit of the rest of IZ*ONE's songs. It's a great danceable song, as you can imagine, and it just sounds like an IZ*ONE song, and I think that it really plays to their strengths. And while I would love a more full release, a mini or anything like that, we did just get one reeler, so I won't be too greedy, even though I want IZ*ONE to last forever. And my last category for girl groups is my favorite B-side of the month, and this month it belongs to Cherry Bullet. Keep Your Head Up is my favorite B-side off their first mini album Cherry Rush, and wow, it is so good. Love So Sweet is really amazing. A great comeback to re-angle the group, I guess, after the missteps that happened with their last comeback. So I'm really excited to support them through this comeback, and hopefully they can learn moving forward. Keep Your Head Up is a great song also. It could have been a contender for idol track this era, but I'm kind of glad that it is their B-side. Because it kind of has a video game kind of feel, almost reminds me of Q&A a little bit in that sense. So it definitely works for their concept. Possibly also reminds me a little bit of something that a group like Fromis or even Wekimeki a few eras ago could do. I think this song is really cool and special. I love B-sides, and this one's a really strong one. I don't know, I think it's early to say if it'll be on my best B-sides of the year, but as of right now, I love it, and I think Cherry Bullet are just getting stronger and stronger. We move now into the boy group portion of my January favorites, and my favorite boy group comeback for the month this month goes to ONEUS, I think it is. I have actually never said it out loud or heard it spoken before, so sorry if I'm getting it wrong to any of their fans, but their song No Diggity is actually really interesting. Firstly, weird title, doesn't really go with the song at all, not at all what I was expecting when I heard the title and saw some of the concept images, but good for them for surprising everybody, including me. I haven't actually followed them very much. I've heard of them. A couple of people I know used to be really into them, but it is to my understanding that their concept has changed or shifted a little bit over the last couple of comebacks, so I'm interested to see where they go. I really like this song. The video is really dynamic, kind of traditional boy group, mature, dark concept fare, but I enjoyed it, and it is my favorite boy group comeback of the month. Though I will say that the boy groups this month definitely surprised me. I listened to a lot of songs that I wouldn't necessarily say are my favorite style, but I'm glad I listened to them anyway. So let me know if you have any other recommendations for ONEUS songs or any other songs that are kind of like this. There weren't any girl group debuts in January as far as I know, and please let me know if I'm mistaken because I don't want to miss anybody. But there was a major, I guess, a boy group debut in January, and that belongs to Teenager, the younger brother group of Momoland. They are under the same company, so I was trying really hard not to be biased against them, especially hearing what I've heard about Momoland's treatment falling a little bit by the wayside in favor of their younger brothers, but I digress. I definitely tried to give them a fair shake, and I really do enjoy their brand new title track, Asura Balbalta. It is definitely a mouthful, and one of those ones where you have to try to say it in the pattern of the way they sing it in the song, otherwise you are gonna totally trip over it. But the video was really cool. I think that the members are really charismatic. I didn't really like the concept for their pre-debut single Jacula, so I didn't have high hopes for this, but I actually do really like this one, and I'm interested to see what they put out next. I am just hoping that MLD Entertainment does not leave Momoland to the side, and I will be talking in my February video about Rap Me in Plastic probably because I loved that collab. And last but not least, we're going to talk about my favorite boy group B-side of January, and that belongs to Golcha. Golden Child are one of those groups that I have kept in my periphery for a really long time. I also saw them at KCON in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, back when Let Me was their title, if anybody wants to throw it back to that. And wow, their current release, Burn It Up? Oh shoot, I don't remember what it's called, sorry, is really amazing, but very different than some of the stuff that they were releasing when they were first debuted. And I think that's the natural progression of a lot of boy groups. They go from a very fresh concept into a more mature or dark concept. That is the natural order of things in the K-pop industry. But I'm not super into their title this time around, but wow, are their B-sides incredible. I love a whole bunch of them, but my favorite by far has to be Cool Cool. I think Cool Cool is one of those songs that feels really good to listen to. It's got that amazing bass line, and you know how crazy I am for a bass line, and I just really enjoy listening to it. I don't know if Golcha has any featured B-sides this time around, but I would recommend it be that one because I love it. So I'm personally biased. In terms of soloists, January was pretty stacked. I am cheating a little bit already, even though I said I was going to do my best to try to keep it limited. I am doing one female soloist and one male soloist this month just because I literally could not decide whose I preferred more. I really loved Yubin's Perfume, as well as Hong Eun-ki's On and On. Those songs are amazing. Perfume is so moody and powerful in the same way that a lot of kind of modern city pop songs are. The things that Yerin Baek is putting out, the things that Chungha is putting out, the things that Sunmi has been putting out, even Yukika. I think Yubin is really channeling that moment as well as something uniquely hers, and the video is so compelling to look at as well. It's really beautiful, and I think that song is super, super cool. And when it comes to Hong Eun-ki, I did not know that he was on Produce. I actually hadn't heard of him before I listened to this song. It was on my recommendeds on Spotify, and wow, oh my god, am I so glad I listened to it, because this song, probably out of every release in January, this is probably my top release of January total. I think the video is incredible. The choreography is awesome. He has a really charismatic presence that is gentle and mature and kind of clean cut in a way that is very magnetic. I think the concept for this video is really almost romantic and ethereal, but also very grounded at the same time. I know I'm just saying a lot of words, but I can't really describe the way it makes me feel. I tweeted a little bit about how I think Solo from Josh from 17 would really suit this type of concept, and I think that sort of gentle, sexy concept is something that really speaks to me. So definitely give this one a listen if you haven't yet. And my favorite soloist B-side for January goes to Hyuna with Party Feel Love featuring Dawn. I really love the aesthetics of I'm Not Cool. I think the video is really cool, but sonically, not my favorite release from her. So I think the B-sides, especially Good Girl, I think that would have worked great as a title track, but I also really love Party Feel Love. I think it's got the vibes that I was looking for, and of course, who could say no to a collab from K-pop's favorite couple, Hyuna and Dawn. I really like that they get the chance to work together professionally and artistically. I think that's really cool, and it's a nice song. I like to listen to it. We kick off the miscellaneous category with my favorite music video of January, and that's gonna go to Pink Fantasy with Lemon Candy. I really love this video because it looks almost homemade a little bit. I have actually followed on Instagram the place where they filmed this. It's called Studio Reichi Kitsch, and you can check them out on Instagram, and you can go there and take photos with your friends. You can book them for a photo shoot basically. Sungwon and Mingyu, as well as the whole 97 line from 17, have actually gone there to take pictures, so it's possible that the whole group went, but those are the ones that we've seen. And so finding out that another group that I enjoy was filming there, I think is really cool. Hopefully it gives them a little bit of a boost. It's got the aesthetic that I love, something cluttered, really cute, pink, and I think that kind of suits Pink Fantasy a little bit. They have this very quirky, almost off, eccentric kind of vibe to them that I think really works well with Reichi Kitsch, as well as the style in which they filmed the video. So definitely check this one out. It's almost unsettling, like almost creepy, but that fits them because they still have their mystery member in the bunny mask. And I think that Pink Fantasy are doing something really interesting, so hopefully they pick up steam, more people get into them. I like them. For my favorite album or mini of January, I decided to go with Victon, I think. They've been around for forever, but I actually haven't really listened to their music. I made sure to listen to Voice, The Future Is Now, and Victon are really good, you guys. I'm sure that's not a secret, but it is a new discovery to me. I really love a lot of their B-sides. I think Flip a Coin is my favorite, and so to find out that it was their promoted B-side made me feel once again like a genius, because my favorite is usually the one that they end up promoting, which means it is one of the best, which I guess means that the industry knows what to market because they know what's going to be popular. If you don't like the title track, then you'll probably like the B-side, or vice versa, or you'll like both because you like the artist. And Victon, I think I'm gonna have to go back and listen to their discography again, because there must be something that I'm missing, unless this is a total departure from them, but I don't think it is. I think this is pretty consistent with the music they put out. But either way, Voice, The Future Is Now has made an impression. I wanted to make sure I had a space where I could talk about the non-Korean language releases of the month, just because I really do enjoy listening to the Japanese, English, Chinese, and other language releases of some of my favorite K-pop idols, and this month top tier has to go to Baekhyun. I mean, everything he puts out is like gold. So there was no question about whether or not Get You Alone or Baekhyun self-titled as a whole was going to be good, because we knew it was going to be good because Baekhyun was putting it out, right? But when I saw people watching Baekhyun's Beyond Live, I think it was, or whatever it was, his online concert, people were yelling about Got You Alone, and I listened to it and they were right to yell because it is an amazing song. I cannot stop listening to it. All the other songs are great as well. Honorable mention to Not Shy English version by ITZY, but it's not a brand new song and Baekhyun has to take it this month. Sorry, ITZY. Biggest surprise of the month has to go to Gravity. I, once again, do not know anything about Gravity. I'm actually not that well versed in smaller boy groups, just because I have a few boy groups that I really love and a few bigger ones that I have started to get into, but I don't usually follow them just because their concepts usually aren't something that interests me. A lot of the music between groups can sound very similar to me, but I have been wanting to listen to as many artists as I can to see if there are any new favorites that might pop up, and Gravity's Hideout Be Our Voice Season 3 mini album and their title track My Turn was a huge surprise. I listen to a lot of new music when I'm running errands in my car, just because I don't have to put in my AirPods to listen to it, so it's a little bit more comfortable. And I heard this one in my car and I started laughing out loud. It just feels like, and I think I tweeted this, that it seems like the producers went to the Jopping School of Production, like the Super M School of Production, where, man, theoretically that should not work, right? Vroom 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 skirt is not it's not the most poignant lyric that I've ever heard. But God, if it doesn't get you hype, it's just like listening to Supercar, go vroom. Like, it just makes you feel like, yes, you are driving a car. Yes, it is your turn. And I feel completely comfortable and at peace with that fact. I don't know if I'm going to make a point to listen to Gravity. I mean, of course I am if they release more music this year. I don't think I'm going to get into them very deeply, but it is a fun song that is always going to bring me joy, I think. This last category is just basically a catch-all, anything that I wanted to mention that I didn't think fit in any of the other categories. And I did want to give a quick shout out to AB6's Salute a New Hope remixes that I didn't know I needed until I listened to them. The Blind for Love new disco mix is probably my favorite B-side off their album for the month of January. And oh my God, the alternative rock mix of Surreal, incredible. Like, who knew we needed them? Remixes don't normally do it for me because there's something I really loved about the original, but I think AB6's music, or at least these songs in particular, really lend to it. So definitely check those out, especially if you liked the originals. And that gets me sorted for January comebacks and my January favorites. Did I share some favorites with you? Did I miss an artist completely that you think is underrated and deserves more hype? Do you have different favorites? Or are you a fan of any of these groups that I'm discovering for the first time and want to share some information with me? I would love to hear it. I love discovering new artists, and I hope maybe I can help you discover a few new artists through this as well. Let me know if you like this series. I am going to be doing it whether you like it or not, just because it's nice to see how I felt throughout the year. And if I get into any of these groups a little more deeply later on, it'll be kind of nice to reflect and look back on how I felt when I first discovered them. So thank you very much for tuning in. I hope that this video was interesting for you, and I hope you're doing well. And stay safe out there. Have a good one. Bye-bye.